Okay, folks, wanted to take a minute to talk about Christian apologetics and how it compares to real science and real research. You see, Christian apologetics is a defense of the Christian faith. You see, the people who go into apologetics already believe in the Christian faith. They're not trying to let the data lead them to a conclusion. They start out with a conclusion. Okay? This is literally doing research and science ass backwards. No kidding. I mean, Christian apologists are intelligent and they have access to the same data as anybody else. But instead of doing it in a way where they are trying to decide and figure out what is truth based on the data, they do it completely backwards. Instead, they approach the subject already knowing and believing something. Okay, with that as a foundation, of course, they're always going to say that the data is good evidence for what they've already concluded. But that's not an honest way of doing science, is it? No, it doesn't cut it. So we have a situation where they are stretching, manipulating the data to try to fit it very neatly into a puzzle that advances their narrative. So even though they can be highly educated, they can have all kinds of degrees, they are not doing the science correctly. It is just smoke and mirrors. Right? Any scientist that is starting with the conclusion and then trying to fit the evidence into the conclusion is not doing real science. So Christian apologetics is just not real. Okay? It's an attempt to manipulate data and information to support a narrative. It's kind of like a really good politician would do. Okay? It is not science. So scholarly consensus on issues like, did Jesus really rise from the dead? The scholarly consensus is actually no. Okay? But Christians all over the world, they follow these apologists who tell them, oh no, the data shows that this is true. Right? When the data is not driving the conclusion. The conclusion that the apologists have is set in stone. So of course, they are always going to conclude that yes, the data shows that Jesus rose from the dead. This is not scholarship. This is politicking, okay, for a cause. So there's a major, major difference. And I hope you don't get fooled by the Christian apologists. Do your own homework. Do your own research. Right? And let the data and the evidence guide your decisions on what you're going to believe or not believe. And that's a far better way to determine what is true than going to a book written by a Christian apologist and just buying everything he says, hook, line, and sinker. Don't do that. If you really want to know the truth, dig in, go into the deep dive, and figure out for yourself what is true and what is not true. And that's a much better approach. Don't be fooled by Christian apologists. Do your own homework, guys. Have a good day.